Well, there's more trouble to tell you about tonight at the city's animal shelter. Last week, WSMV4 Investigates uncovered how two former employees accused a supervisor of racist and sexist behavior. While the supervisor was suspended for 3 days, he remains on the job, but the two employees resigned in frustration. Chief Investigative Reporter Jeremy Finley has now uncovered that pets were given expired vaccinations and their new owners didn't know this for months.
It's one of the perks of adopting at Metro Animal Control and Care. When you take home a pet from the shelter, it's fully vaccinated against rabies. But records obtained by WSMV4 Investigates show for 4 months late last year, nearly 100 pets were given expired rabies vaccinations. And a resignation letter from a former employee states the shelter's former veterinarian knew about the mistake and didn't alert rescuers, owners, or adopters until a complaint was filed about it to the Metro Health Department.
Is this shelter in a kind of crisis?
Yes, definitely.
Former shelter employee Jessica Hoffman wrote in her resignation letter in February, quote, "The incompetence is no longer relegated to the treatment of staff. It is now spilling to the treatment of animals in max care." Documents obtained by WSMV4 Investigates show pet owners were sent this letter in January, stating that from August 10th, 2021 to November 6th, the rabies vaccines given out were expired and not considered legally valid. While the letter stated there is no evidence to indicate any expected adverse effects from the expired vaccine, it meant all of these cats and dogs needed to come back in and be revaccinated.
While rabies is rare in domesticated animals, there's always that what if.
Hoffman wrote in her resignation letter, it was the delayed action by former staff veterinarian, Dr. Stacy Cannon, that upset her the most.
Myself and the employee who pointed it out waited some time to allow her to figure out a game plan, and that never happened.
Cannon resigned this year from the shelter to take a new job out of state, and the director of the health department wrote in an email that no disciplinary action was taken regarding the expired vaccine. But MAC has revised their vaccine inventory protocol to require date marking on the shelves. Jeremy Finley, WSMV4 Investigates.
Now, we called Dr. Cannon both at her new job and on her cell phone, but haven't heard from her by our deadline. A spokesman for the Metro Health denied our request for an interview, releasing a statement reading in part, quote, "There was no evidence that animals who received an expired vaccine faced any adverse effects. MACC reached out to each family who received an expired vaccine and offered to revaccinate the pet free of charge," end of quote. To read WSMV4's Investigates first story on Metro Animal Care, you can right now on our website. We have that story and today's posted on WSMV.com and in the free WSMV app.